So I call on Bawani Orukamini Isaac Mugwayoruba. So hi, my name is Isaac. I am Nigerian. Grew up in Lagos, Nigeria for 16 years, then moved to Amsterdam 5 years ago. Is that right math? 4 years ago. And then, I guess that's me. And then came here for uni.
Cool. That's really cool. Okay, so what are the languages that you speak?
So I speak but more so understand my mom's mother tongue, which is Yoruba. So it's one of the languages from one of the tribes, also the same name in Lagos, in Nigeria. So growing up, she used to speak it to me, and then she just made sure I understood it. She didn't always make sure I spoke it. And my dad is from a different tribe, which is the Igbo tribe, but he never spoke Igbo to me, so I don't understand it. I can't speak it. And my mom's one is weird because I understand it. I can kind of speak it, but then, yeah, we'll see.
Okay, if you were to completely lose, being able to speak Yoruba, what would it mean to you?
I mean, it would be weird because I feel especially it would be weird in the context of me being back at home in Nigeria, because I would feel a bit more disconnected from it. Because to be fair, even though our official language is English because we're colonized by the British, and everyone had to, all the different tribes had to learn how to speak English so we could all come together and talk about stuff. You still have certain parts of the country or the city where you have that specific language is still there and stuff. And I feel even though I don't actively speak it, just understanding it for me is good enough to feel comfortable at home. So I feel even if I lose that, I would feel so out of place. It would feel weird. And then and it's also nice just be able to I don't know, there's something about being able to translate languages that's just fun to do. You speaking English, but you could also think in a different language. It's cool. Yeah. So I wouldn't like to lose it.
Okay. Yes. So you said that you're not too fluent.
Yeah.
But do your grandparents, or do they only speak Yoruba? Or do they also speak
English? No. So my grandmother, she speaks both. So I think everyone so the generation. It's only really my generation and my family that doesn't speak it, or we only speak English, and then we understand it. But every other generation before us, they speak both Yoruba and English. Yeah.
So do you mostly speak to your grandmother in Yoruba or English?
No, English.
English?
Yeah. It's weird because it's funny how they transition. So for example, there's speaking Yoruba, there's speaking English, then there's speaking your English, which is a mix, because you it's funny when they do it because they're speaking Yoruba, but certain words they have to say in English, so they just transition whatever they feel like. You just wake up one morning oh, we'll talk to Isaac in Yoruba today, and then we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's quite similar to me as well. We'll just be
I know
everything.
it's weird that I don't know what it is. It's when you have that emotion, you're definitely not speaking it in English. You're changing to take it back home, speak Yoruba and stuff. But then it's true, because to be fair, I think that's one of the things that I've talked to my mom about it sometimes, and then there's just certain words or expressions that you can't express in English, and you just have to express it in your mother tongue and stuff like that. So it's fun though. It's a very interesting language.
Okay, so yes, what do you love about your mother tongue?
I do like that it's expressive. It's really expressive. I like that it's expressive, and then I think it's also, I don't know how to define this. I feel maybe it makes sense to me because I'm from Nigeria and stuff, but then the language is very characterizing, if that makes sense. Almost even just speaking it, wherever you are, just speaking already gives you that character of those people. And Yoruba people, back at home, they're people that like parties. They always want to have a good vibe. They're very loud. I guess they're the reasons why everyone thinks Nigerians are loud and you get a word in or whatever. But yeah, it's just the fact that it's just really that expressive, and then it also just gives you the character of those people. I think that's just what I really, really enjoy about it. So And it's very rhythmic as well. It's like, it travels, like it sings. I don't know what it does, but it just does that. But yeah, so those are the three main things I like about it. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I think because it's so like rich in culture.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the music and
definitely.
And everyone's personalities.
Definitely, yeah. It's very that, and I feel like, and now that I think about it, because I've never actually thought about what I actually like about it, like the fact that you can characterize people, or like just speaking like a certain language gives you characteristics of those people already. It's like, oh, that's like a rare. I don't know if it's like a rare thing to do, but then it's just very intriguing that a language can do that to someone. Then, yeah.
Cool. Alright. Do you remember how you learnt it when you was young? You were younger. Like, did you have to do it in school with your parents? And how was it like learning it when you were younger?
So there's like my first exposure to it was obviously like being at home, and my mom would like maybe like send me on an errand and like say something. Like she'd say, so for example, say get me that cup of water is Ebami Muomi. That's what it means. That's what it translates to. So she would say it to me first in English, and then she would say it to me first in Yoruba, and then she would say it to me in English, and then that's how I like first of all like got like, you know, accustomed to it. But then when I got into primary school and secondary school, which I don't know, do they call it secondary school here? Yeah, they do. High school is American. But then, we actually had to do Yoruba as like a subject at school, which was very different because that was more about learning like the vowels and like the whole like technicalities, like the language, whereas at home was very much you learn how to use it in like actual like day-to-day speaking to people and stuff. Yeah, so it was different. Like I got exposed to it in both an informal and formal setting, but then there were still very different, like, you know, expectations, like reasons from those different settings. Yeah.
Did you enjoy it like that?
In school, I think in school it was very, I don't know, it's like, how can I describe it? Like I did do well, like when I studied at school, because it was very like the technical stuff was a bit easier. And the other thing that I made different was at home I just was speaking it, but in school I actually had to write it. So I could actually like visualize, okay, this is what this word looks like. So I did enjoy it in school. I did well in it, so I guess that's why I enjoyed it. But then I think it would be more useful if I was always exposed to the way I was exposed to at home, because I mean, the whole point of languages is so you speak them, not necessarily know that, oh, this is the vowel you're meant to use, or this is like, you know, how to write this down, that kind of thing. But yeah, so it was enjoyable though. I didn't do it for too long, like just 3 years of high school, and then after that I stopped. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's quite similar to myself as well. I had such a difficult time learning like Mandarin. It was just
really,
like,
oh my god,
I hated it.
But I swear, because everyone is like, because I was reading somewhere and it was like, if there's a like language you should learn, it should be Mandarin.
Yeah, but I mean, because like China is so big,
it's huge,
and,
yeah,
business and everything, like everything goes from China, like, everything's made from China.
Yeah, this is it's like a very like, it's becoming a global language really, which is good. I have a few friends that are studying Mandarin.
Yeah.
One of my friends, like, because I met him in South Africa and he was just infatuated with like China, and then I think he studied in Manchester, but then he was doing, what was he doing? Oriental studies? I can't remember. And then now he's in China. So he's going all the way with it. He's like, I'm going to learn this. He's ready to move there. He's like so ready to move there, but yeah, it's good.
Because I don't really know much about Nigeria at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like I really should, but I feel like I don't read up about it.
The fact that, you know, it's a country and it's not like Africa, it's not, because that's already good enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what else. The only other thing that I think might be interesting about how like I don't actively speak. Actually, there are two things that are a bit interesting about it. Is the first thing is that, not that I want to seem like that person, that African person that's angry at colonialists, but it's just the interesting idea that with, I can't remember, the Scramble for Africa, like where like they mapped out a group of people. So like in Nigeria you have like 250 different tribes that have their different languages, but when colonialism came about, everyone was kind of forced to not necessarily give up, because you do have people that can speak both, but everyone was in a way forced to, like, people you wouldn't necessarily, not necessarily associate with, but like deal with, because they'll be in a different tribe than you. You're forced, because like this colonial power has come, to be able to interact with one another and then English was not that language. And I guess to an extent it can be a good thing because you have a common language now and common communication, but it's almost like the forcing of learning that language, if that makes sense. So it's almost like to an extent part of you is somewhat suppressing your actual self to, you know, meet this need of like, oh, British are here, have to speak English to everyone else. And then also even that idea kind of travels down because you do have people, so for example, if I were to be someone living in rural Lagos or something, I would most likely be speaking my native language. And then to go to the city, because everyone assumes that, oh, the city is where all the opportunities are, and you have to like have like a certain look about you, people would tend to give up speaking or tone down speaking their like native like language to speak English. And it's just that whole idea about how subconsciously to some people English is more civilized than their actual language, which is something I was wondering whether it was like what my dad did, because it was very weird for me that he never spoke it to me when I was younger, because I was like, you see my mom doing it, so why are you doing it as well? And then the other thing about it, the funny thing I was going to tell you about was that so I say I understand it more than I speak it. And it's funny because even when I go home and I do try to speak it, people that can actually speak it laugh at me. And it's just like, okay, so I understand that I want to be able to like speak it and stuff, like take it to the next level. But even the people that are on the other side that can understand it and like can actually speak it don't always encourage you. They just recognize that you speak it differently, or like, you know, you say certain things like differently and stuff. And they don't necessarily encourage you to actually speak it. So it's almost like when you're in that position where you understand something to an extent, but you're not fluent in it. It's almost like it's at the limbo you're stuck in forever, because on one side, English people can't teach me how to speak Yoruba, and Yoruba people hear me speak Yoruba and they're like, that's wrong, so don't do it again. But yeah, I think that's the only other thing I thought about. So like, it's a very interesting thing. It's a very interesting subject to think about, but yeah.
Yeah, because we don't usually like.
Yeah.
Just like, I'll speak to my friend like Yoruba or like Mandarin, and I'll speak to my friends in like English and stuff like that. But when you really think about it, it's like so many centuries of history.
I know that go into it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good that we have English because everyone can like understand each other, but at the same time, well, it's not like we're like foregoing our history. It's just, I don't know, it's just... It's not
clean. It's not like... It's like grey. It's like... It's not black and white about it. So it's like... It's a very grey situation because like you have like the subconscious things that go into like, oh, what does that actually mean? Or what does that actually say about you? But yeah, it's very... It's interesting. To be fair, I don't know what... Because I was going to say, to be fair, like part of me, I used to say this to people. I went to school in South Africa and it was like a school that got people from all over the continent and stuff. So you'd have people that came from like francophone countries like Cote d'Ivoire or Senegal or Gambia and stuff, and they would come and like what they could speak was French. And even though like France was like their colonial ruler, they would come and like within like a month they're speaking fluent English. So part of me was like, oh, English is such an easy language to learn. So part of me wishes I was like born in a different country that wasn't Anglophone speaking, just because I mean it's easy for you to like have both languages done. It's very, and I feel like that's like the interesting thing as well. It's like the whole internalization of everybody. No, that's not the word. Internationalization is such a long word, it annoys me. But like how everyone is so international, and like there's always something, you could find something common about yourself with like someone else, but then